Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I'm here with my last Thankful Thursday of the month of November for 2023. A hop started by Sandy, who is State Goddess and runs Scrapping Reflections. And I'm going to use a Thanksgiving's Day picture to document. I thought that would be pretty fitting, and I'm using this Fall in Love Hip Kit Club collection. I bought all the bells and whistles with this, the extra ephemera bits and all of that. So I've got tons and tons of stuff to go with this, and I really don't have a lot of fall pictures. It's not something I normally take a bunch of pictures of. So I'm going to try and use as much as I can on here, although, well, I got lots of stuff. So I've got some papers that I want to go through and try and find a base, and a ton of ephemera, my one picture of my family on Thanksgiving, and an idea in my head. So let's see how this goes. So I decided to gut this paper, even though I am trying to use it up. I have a ton of ephemera, and you only get 12 sheets of paper unless you order extra paper, and I did not order extra paper. I really wanted the extra ephemera bits with this because it had this really cool wood grain, like little houses and stuff, and I loved that, and it was part of, I think, the extra pack. So I don't normally get the extra bit of ephemera, but I certainly did this time, and so I'm trying to make my paper last as long as I can. I did take that same background paper, and I cut a piece big enough to mat my picture, which was a 5x7, but I did trim it down because there was a lot of wall above where we are, and I didn't need all that, so I trimmed that down a little bit. And then I just took some scraps and a couple of the branding strips from my scraps and used those to build kind of a shelf for my picture to sit on. I really am doing my norm with winging it on this layout. That's kind of what I really love to do. It's my strong suit when it comes to just kind of going with the flow and figuring things out as I'm going. And that is exactly what I did, which is why I kind of do things kind of out of order towards the end. But ends up actually being a really cool effect, but definitely not planned. And that's the way things usually go with me. So these two strips that I've put down are branding strips. And then, like I said, this little plaid piece is a just a scrap that was left over from a layout I've already done with this collection. I really don't pull as much ephemera out as I would like to, but that's okay. And a lot of it is really flexible to where I can use it with other things. I am looking at my layout now, and there is one thing I wish I would have done different, and that is I'm going to put a tag down to the right of the picture. I wish I would have inked around it because it kind of disappears into the page, not in front of me. Like, I'm looking at it and it's there, I see it, it's fine. But from a distance, of course, when you're looking at a scrapbook, it's not from a distance. So I'm thinking it'll be fine. But I wish I would have inked around it, and you'll see here in a minute. But I'm just laying things out right now. Now, my original plan was to use this background mat and then use the back of that paper to mat my picture. But then I chose this white paper as the background, and the back of this paper, this floral, dark floral, is like a light white with a very light vine on it. And so I decided to use the same paper, or the same side of the background paper. And so all the bits and pieces that I had picked out had that same pattern, and I didn't want to overdo it. So I figure I've got lots of Thanksgiving layouts to do from this year. I took a bunch of pictures, so maybe I'll just use those on the facing page so they kind of go together. So I'm going to take those two things off. It was a heart and the little tag at the top. So now you see that tag that's over there on the right. And that's the one that I wish I had inked around with maybe a dark blue or a black ink, just to let it stand out a little bit more. It's just a little journaling space, this family time, with a couple lines. I'll probably just put a couple, I'm not going to put the date there. I'll probably put that on like the first page. But this is, after we've eaten and we were about to go our separate ways. So this is going to probably be towards the end of the layout, in the book. So I'm using some of the little wordy bits. One says Happy Thanksgiving, one says Best Ever. In all honesty, this was probably one of the best Thanksgivings we've ever had. My sister has always gone to Thanksgiving with her in-laws, and I used to also most of the time go to Thanksgiving with my in-laws. So my mom hasn't had her girls. My sister's been married 27 plus years at this point. So 27 years she's not had both of us for Thanksgiving. The last 3 or 4 years I've been here. But my sister's always gone, out of town to her husband's families. And so this year they decided to come here. And so we all got our very first Thanksgiving together. Both my children were there, although one isn't pictured here, and he's appreciative of that. Both my sister's kids were there, and so it was a really, really great day. Lots of delicious food and everything. So I am finishing off my layout with some Nuvo drops in like a pink. And so I thought that would be perfect to bring out that pink like I've got in that paper. Also, I wanted a little something else, and so I pulled out this Diane Reevely Shimmer Surprise. I had to think for a second. And this is like a balmy night or something like that. And I don't know if you'll see it up close when I do this, but some of it got into the Nuvo, and when it dried, it looks really, really cool. So that was my unexpected surprise, but I do love it. I did put some buttons on there because I like the look of those. They're really cute. Plus, I already had that little circular thankful and blessed over here by this pumpkin, and that just gave me a couple more little circular features. And that is it. I have enjoyed getting some things documented and sharing what I'm thankful for. I hope that you all will check out all the other people who are hopping along with Sandy, which is, like I said, State Goddess, here on YouTube, and seeing what everybody else is thankful for and getting some ideas for scrapbooking and maybe encouraging you to do the same. I hope you'll come back and see me again really soon. I am also very thankful for you all. So thank you for hanging out with me. Hope you get a chance today to do something you love with someone you love, and happy scrapping.